And I'm not going to say that because he listens to RümpChät. He might actually check his swing. But with the WCRA, I mean, a lot of people have a misconception about it that, you know, that's not the PRCA, we don't cheer for that or whatever, but the WCRA is actually a pretty dang cool system that's set up. If you guys don't know anything about it, go to their website, check it out, because you can nominate any rodeo. It doesn't matter if it's PRCA, IPRA, a jackpot, you can nominate that rodeo. So with the way that the system is set up, you can not rodeo hard and still get in a position to win the $1 million.
Yeah, exactly. When I first started nominating rodeos, I didn't really like it that much either. I was just coming back from some injuries and wasn't picking the right rodeos to nominate. Didn't end up earning any points. Didn't get to go to any of the big WCRA rodeos, and I was kind of down on it for a while. And then I started nominating again early last season. And it's been great ever since. I mean, we get to nominate after we know what horses we're getting on, so we know if we have a good chance of placing or not. So then we get to pick if we want to nominate that rodeo, earn some points, then you're on the leaderboard, and they also give weekly bonuses. So if you enter a Division I rodeo and you win that rodeo, and you enter a Division II rodeo, you can win multiple times your entry fee back. Anyways, you know, I haven't paid a single dime throughout this whole thing.
So that's awesome. This is your numbers right here with the WCRA. Earnings in 2 events. In 2 rodeos, you won $44,600. You've nominated 6 rodeos. You've had 4 rides. Your average earning per ride is $11,150. Wow,
that's pretty good stuff.
Weekly bonus. Merry Christmas. You've had
nobody nominates either. I don't understand it.
6 weekly bonuses at $2,800, and your potential WCRA lifetime earnings after Cowtown Christmas Championship Rodeo will be $1,075,650.
That's
in 1 year.
So that's just it. Like, so it pays $15,000 to win that event. $25,000 Reliance Ranch's bonus. Just here's the other $25 grand. Congrats. And then if you win it, obviously that's your 3rd one, so that's $1 million. And then and you get to draft your own stock. Talk about that, about how you guys draft your own bucket horses.
Yeah, so you nominate the rodeos, you earn points, and then if you're at the top of the leaderboard and you get to that major event, you get to pick your stock or everything else. And you get to buy it to the short round if you don't want to compete in the long round, which that's up to you if you can do both if you want. And like at Cowtown, it's triple points. So if it was close for that VRQ code bonus, the $25,000, I would enter the first round as well, so that I can earn triple points in 3 separate rounds. But I think I've earned enough points already that I already have right now. So I'll just go straight to the short round, pick my horse, and then hopefully win that round, and I get to pick first in the short round.
If you can pick one horse, he doesn't even have to be there. But if they said, RC, we're going to give you the choice of everybody in pro rodeo, you get one horse that you can pick to win the $1 million on. What horse are you picking?
Virgil.
You're picking the Verge? Wow. Have you ever been on Virgil?
Yeah. Till Monday night, getting on here.
That's when he's out.
Did you hear that? He's calling his shot right here. Virgil on
because
Monday.
they won't find you won't find out until tomorrow what you have for Monday.
Yeah, correct.
What's kind of your normal schedule during the NFR here? Because, like, I mean, you guys are super busy, and the days go by fast with a 5:45 start time.
Yeah, we have a year and a half old now, so it's kind of changed a little bit. The rodeo starting at 5:45 makes it easier because we can be home at a decent hour. But get up, go to the gym, go to the sauna, come back to the room, eat breakfast. Usually come do something like this for an hour or so, go eat lunch, go take a nap, head to the rodeo, go home, get back to eat.
Well, I knew how tough RC was. The first time I got to hang out with him and Cy Skyver Bootmakers right there. We were in...
Cy Skyver's... Okay, don't bring this in.
He was with us, though. We went down the boat. Y'all ever heard of air chairing? That's a California thing.
This is a Reno Rosser story.
An air chair is something you strap your ass to, and then it's got a fin on the bottom, and you go up into the air behind a boat. In Oklahoma, no one's ever heard of the air chair.
No.
So we went out on the boat, and we took RC and everybody, and I didn't try it because, you know, I'm fat. Fat people don't do water sports very good. RC tried it for like probably 3 hours, and he hit the water so unbelievably hard over and over and over. He would just about get up on the air chair, and then would get up underneath him, and he would just eat shit. And I'm like, this might be the toughest guy I've ever met. So that's why I've been a big fan, because you're pretty tough. Because after about the 30th time that you bounce your face off Camp Far West outside of Sacramento, California.
I don't like not being good at things, so it's a challenge I was trying to conquer.
How old are you?
32.
32. Oh, you old bastard.
I remember just yesterday, and this cat can really ride bulls too. Remember them days? It was a long time
You
ago.
ever think about cracking out with the WCRA and nominating a couple? If you drew the right bull, would you nominate little all-around points?
I don't think I'd ever get on road.
Like that last day.
Ship and sail. Why do you think that more?
Was that in Houston?
Yeah.
That's right.
Why do you think more people don't nominate for this awesome deal with the
I
WCRA?
don't know. I think it's growing. I think more people are starting to pay attention, and I think after this next event, if things go my way, it'll really grab attention for a lot of people. And I think next year it's probably going to start really taking off.
What are you going to buy if you win the $1 million at Cowtown? What's the first thing you're going to buy once you get that $1 million?
Honesty here.
Actually, I'm going to buy a new place for the family.
Oh,
there you go.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but we actually are taking investors with RümpChät. So if you do win the $1 million, your name could be right over on that bill right there. Well, RC, we're so glad to
Invest
have
in your
you.
future, RC.
I have you bought in my pro fantasy rodeo team. Not a big deal.
Do you hate that when people come up and say, you're in my league, you better do good? I better do good because I'm in your fantasy league. Okay, thank you.
I just spitting the truth here, but big fan of yours, RC. We're so glad that you got to come out today, and we'll be cheering for you for the rest of the NFR. And I really want to see it. No one has ever done it. It's Riley Webb in the calf roping has come close. There's been a couple people come close to $1 million. Michelle Darling had to win Corpus. That was her third for the triple. Yeah, she's so hot. On a side note, but she was up for the $1 million, and she got bumped by like 0.2 of a second. So no one has ever won the $1 million with WCRA.
Huge.
But this December, Cowtown Coliseum, the 14th through the 17th. Cowtown Cowboy Christmas in Fort Worth, Texas. If y'all get a chance, if you're listening at home or on Apple or iTunes,
Yeah,
whatever.
if you didn't make it out here, Fort Worth, the downtown, the stockyards is it's unbelievable. They're calling it like another Nashville. But they've done so much down there in the last 5 years. There's great restaurants, lots to do. So if you didn't make it out here, even if you did, and you're not dead broke from gambling your savings away, go to Fort Worth, watch this man win $1 million. And if you can't make it, it's on CBS at 1 o'clock Eastern on Christmas Day. So
It's going to be a good show, so hopefully we'll see you guys out there.
awesome.
We're going to hope that you're going to win that $1 million. But thanks for coming out. And how about a round of applause for our man right here, RC Landingham.
Good luck tonight, bud.
I'm sorry that you think I was weird. All right. Cheers. Everybody get a gold buckle beer.
Who's drinking? Get him up.
Gold buckle beer right over in the corner.
Speaking of drinking,
Country music show.
this guy we're going to bring up is, both of them. Come on up. No, just one guy. Okay.
Ray Tom just got shut down.
Yeah, Ray Tom. Sit down, Ray Tom. We've been friends for a long time, and he's just he's a cowboy singing about cowboy stuff, and that's what's really cool. He doesn't wear a ball cap backwards and sing about chicks sitting in the middle of his pickup truck, dirt roads, and six packs, and maybe a little bit of drinking in there. But anyway, let's give a huge round of applause for the great Chancey Williams.
South Point.
Look at he's dressed up for our show.
I wanted to class you guys up a little bit, so I wore a suit coat.
Yeah, well, no, why did you really dress up today? Oh, you were on another show.
I was out of shirts in my hotel room. That's all I had left. So.
You're going to Flynn's show next, probably, aren't you?
No, we're doing Cowboy Channel next. So.
Oh, there's the truth.
Well, Chancey, you look like a photoshopped version of yourself right here.
Thanks. I clean up nice once in a while. You know, it's early in the day, so.
You look like you could be an extra on Yellowstone.
Thanks.
Yeah, I don't know how to put that.
You know, like when all the guys with the nice hats and suit coats
Are your spurs so nice they sing all the way across the barnyard?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what they said when I had to turn it off. Because you will get bitch slapped if you ever say that on a ranch.
Yeah.
So, a little announcement. Chancey.
Big announcement.
Yes, it's big. Thank you, Rumford.
Sorry.
Just found out, congratulations, he's making his Grand Ole Opry debut, everybody.
Thank you.
He and the band. They're going to be there with you, right?
You guys come down.
When is that?
I think it's going to be in March. They gave us a list of dates to choose from, and I think we're going to do it in March. That was Thursday. We got the email and said we're playing the Grand Ole Opry, and then, which was huge, and we were super excited about. And then about an hour later, we got a call and said we're playing Billy Bob's for the first time in May. So it was a big day for booking dates.
Dean was happy with that.
Yeah. Well, just prestige. I mean, the Grand Ole Opry is like, I don't know, to compare it to rodeo, I guess it'd be like winning, Pendleton or Cheyenne, getting that coveted buckle from Cheyenne for 4 horseshoes on there, to have that. When people see that buckle in this industry, they know, you've been there and done that.
It's one of those bucket list things, you always dream about doing, When I started playing music, I thought it should be fun to play the Grand Ole Opry someday, but it's kind of like you dream about winning the lottery. Everybody dreams about doing it, just probably never happens. I didn't think it ever happened, but we're sure excited that it's finally did.
Well, and the music industry is so hard, because I know some very talented musicians from living in Fort Worth and that area. I mean, very talented. And you're thinking, when I first saw, this guy's going to be huge, and, does fine, but around Texas, and then he's never had that opportunity, and now your picture's up there by Johnny Cash and Merle Haggard and Willie Nelson.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Like you said, the music business is tough, and we've been at it a long time, but I'm just kind of bullheaded. I just don't give up. But I knew we'd get there someday. It just took a while. We didn't take no shortcuts.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, there in your business there is no shortcut. Like, you got to put in the time, and I've learned more about it after we've been friends, and I've got to be friends with some other people like that. It is not okay. It is so much more work than I originally thought. Like, you think about singers. Oh man, they got these fancy buses, and they just show up, but it is a grind.
Yeah, everybody sees the stage stuff, and hell, we do that part for free. We get paid for all the time on the road, and learning how to play and write songs for your whole life is what you actually get paid for. But the performance stuff itself is the fun stuff. But it's hard. It's like anything. It's like ranching, rodeoing. If you're gonna be good at something, you got to put in the time your whole life to get good at it, or you won't be the best at it.
Chancey actually got me hate mail. Did you know that?
Oh no!
When he was on RümpChät a while back, I think it was 2 years ago, when I was joking around about how Chancey gave me we were passing the whiskey bottle around after the concert in Colorado out there, and I got COVID from Chancey.
No, we didn't. That concert that rodeo was during COVID.
Yeah.
And turns out maybe a lot of people
you talking about
right after that.
the Stoneham super spreader?
In a world where everybody's supposed to be 6 foot apart and wearing masks, there's about 75 people on Chancey's bus passing around a bottle of whiskey. And so I said on there, just as a joke, I was like, yeah, I got, COVID from Chancey Williams. Like, this lady on my iPhone 6, I got a screenshot of it. She's like, you're such an asshole. He's a good person. And for you to put that on, you can't prove that Chancey Williams gave you the sickness. And You shouldn't be saying that shit about Chancey.
Thanks, Mom.
I was like, well, I mean, it could have happened right there.
She was from Moorcroft.
That's,
Mom.
That's my claim to fame is like, at the end of the day, what have I done in this world? Hosted a mediocre podcast with my best friend. I have triplets, and I got COVID from Chancey Williams. Yeah, from the Grand Ole Opry.
That was a fun one.
Oh, and I stole it. And that's an old story, but of course, I just had an accident on his rug and stole it.
Yeah. We've lost like 3 rugs now. And
Are you serious?
Every time one gets stolen, like a handled and numbered and tangled.
Do you have
That rug really did tie the room together.
No, we have our bus driver now park on it, so we'll put it out and back. I was like, quit stealing our damn rug.
I know we've told this story before, but since we do have people here, even if you're listening at home, just shut up because we're going to tell you again. I got onto Chancey's bus in Gooding, Idaho one year. He was playing the concert, and he left his bus unlocked. So JW,
Big mistake.
We don't do that anymore.
JW Harris and I, we just walked on the bus, and there was all kinds of booze in there and food, and got a little into the old silly sauce.
The old Pendleton.
I got a little sick, and may have had a little accident on Chancey's rug, and it was this big, beautiful rug. Chancey Williams and the Younger Brothers Band. I threw up on it, and I was so embarrassed because when Chancey got done with this concert, I didn't want him to come back and see the rug. So I just rolled the rug up with the puke on it, and I hit it, and never gave it back. So,
Now you are a crummy bastard.
that's not crummy, out of respect. A bad
At least
person.
he didn't poo in your bus. That's
Right.
No, I will not do that to you.
Rule number 1.
Is that a
Rule
rule?
number 2.
Especially since you have, the best fiddle player in the world
Right?
And the hottest. Hey,
and the hottest. It's a woman.
yeah, thank you.
Just clarifying,
Right.
So is that a number 1? You don't know. The number 1 is you don't know number 2.
Number 1, you don't know number 2.
Do you guys, is there I don't know this because I'm not a country music singer, but is there just rules that should just be understood about traveling on the bus?
Yeah, for sure.
You
I
don't
mean,
have to explain.
Yeah, there's 12 people on the bus typically at most times, and try to stay out of everybody's way, and try to be quiet at night, which we typically don't do. Sorry, bro. And so going in and out of the bunks. If you're partying up front, try to be quiet. And, the bathroom rules. But yeah, we live on that thing. So it's like 12 people living in a single white trailer.
Okay, so this is going to be gross, but this is RümpChät, so we can ask this. So does the bus driver, is he the guy that has to empty the black tank on the bus?
Yep.
Who's your bus driver?
Aaron is right there.
Hey, all right.
Hey!
Round of applause for Aaron. We call it
Aaron, you got to pull the old
black tank.
the old P tank.
We do it all regulation style. We hook the hose up, always in a place.
Oh, you don't do the rumper? Let's just pull off on a ditch and trip that thing and drive off?
It's organic.
I mean, hook the hose up. We don't pull off on the exits and open the tank. We never have done that.
Yeah, I mean,
That's this guy. He will dump it anywhere.
it's all
ours is embarrassing.
Yeah, it's air. There's just a little key in the bus, and turn the key, and it empties, and then
Oh, you don't have to get under and pull it
it's
like us low lifes do?
See,
right.
And if that hose ain't
We don't
clicked all
have to
the
get our
way
hands
on,
dirty.
Yeah, that's.
I'll tell you, you want to hear that click of that hose, because that hose ain't all the way on. Things get, anyway.
I want to do a whole
Cheers full.
We have derailed here.
Cheers full. Merry Christmas. I want to do a whole show with bus drivers of country music singers. Because last night at the Mirage Hotel and Casino, where I host that awesome Rodeo Vegas party, I got to hang out with the bus driver, Tommy, that drives the bus for the Josh Abbott band. That is my people right there. A big dude who just likes to party and cruises around in a bus. And so I would like to, no offense against you, actually, could you earmuff it for a minute? I want to throw my hat in the ring. When I retire from clowning, I want to drive Chancey's bus.
You're hired.
Now, I won't be able to drive it all the time because I'll be drinking.
So we can drive like 1 or 2 hours a day. About.
Yeah, the band may have to Uber a little bit, but 12 people on a bus, like getting along. I can't even imagine, what that takes, because even with me and Bo, sometimes I want to beat the shit out of them. We don't even travel together,
It's true.
So is there any times like on the bus, or does everybody, kind of understand enough that they kind of stay away from everybody?
Well, it's nice if you're sick of seeing everybody, you can go to your bunk, share your curtain. It's pretty crowded, it's quiet and dark. Air conditioning, there's TVs in each boat, so you kind of have your own space. But yeah, no, we all get along. My whole band and crew, we're like a big family, so there's usually never any problems. It's really easy, surprisingly. I've heard horror stories from other bands, but we never have that stuff.
Dude, and Flint came and rode with you on the bus, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a weekend off from the PBR, which he never does, so we picked him up in Billings and made a Montana run and came back. It was fun.
Nice.
Flint sang last night with him at the South Point.
Yeah, he sang Meet Me in Montana.
I played the tambourine with him on stage before.
In
How about
Fort
you?
Worth.
Yeah.
Hell
You've
yeah.
never done that?
No. I haven't done that, but I did slam some rodeo cold beers at the South Point.
Before we went on, have you ever seen that video of the Eagles, singing Seven Bridges Road?
I have not.
There are stars in the southern sky.
Is that when they all stand in the corner?
Yeah. And we did it before he goes on stage. You have to watch the video. It makes sense. It's really funny.
I've seen the video.
Well, they're like warming up, and so the band was standing there, and I go, "Okay, guys, here we go. 3, 2."
I believe the term is harmonizing.
Oh, there you. Wow, look at you.
You're hired.
But what was really cool is Dean had a flashlight, and he's guiding him, and I'm like right behind him, and I'm getting all the way. Or maybe it's Raytime. I don't know. Maybe any one of them. And I'm following him. And we go through the pit, and we're going up the stairs. The crowd's out there, and they're rumbling, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go do it,
That was a fun time.
And then he goes on stage. He goes, not you.
You guys should. I got invited to be on the stage. I actually got to dance on Chancey's stage last year at the South Point.
I know, I'm at the Mirage this year because we had you and Tuckness and Webster and Flame. Everybody was on stage.
Garrett Yergin went out, and he's the worst dancer in the world.
That's true.
And he stood on the cinch, the riser thing, and was trying to dance, and it just looked horrible. Garrett is a very talented announcer, but he is just a horrible dancer.
That was a fun night. We had 15 people up there from the industry of rodeo up there. It was fun.
So I pushed out that night, and then I get all these pictures and Snapchats, and I was completely disappointed.
I know.
And I'm sorry.
It's a late show, so I know.
But, so you're playing tonight?
Tonight, yep.
Tonight
Our
is the last night at the South Point.
Yep.
What else you got going on this
We're
week?
doing the opening ceremony on the 5th.
What song do you get to do for that?
We're doing The World Needs More Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah. We like that one. It fits it. It's fast. Full band.
Do you know what's funny though? When you came out with the fastest gun in town, that was the opening song for every rodeo for over a year.
Well, I know
everybody played it.
We kind of wrote that for the opening ceremony, me and Trent. We're like, they want something fast that fits rodeo, which is what we like to write anyway. So we wrote that for the NFR because we were talking about, it's really hard to win the world, and if you're number one, everybody's gunning for you. And it's kind of like a gunfighter back in the old west. If you're the fastest gun in town, there's always somebody wanting to take you down.
Yeah.
So it was kind of about Stetson, it would be hard to be on top all the time. No matter if it's the number 50 guy or the number 2 guy, everybody's always gunning for you. So that's how we come up with fastest gun in town.
See, that's why I love your guys' band, because you know this as well as everybody. I'm not really a country music guy, except for you and a couple other people. But because I like shit like that, like fastest gun in town, because it's a good song for one. And for 2, it's not hokey.
I know. Well, there's a lot of hokey country songs we try to avoid.
Does anybody try to pitch you a hokey country song and you're like,
all the time?
Really? What was the most hokey one?
Well, because I wear a cowboy hat and I'm from Wyoming, I'm a cowboy. Everybody in Nashville has a cowboy song they want me to cut. And they're just the worst, typically, because the lingo they put in is stuff that we would never say, or cowboys would never say. I'm like, I I can't cut them. Like I'll tell them it's not a bad song. You know, the melody's not bad, but his lyrics are horrible. You know. And maybe somebody in Nashville could get away singing a cowboy song that was written that way, but where all my friends are in rodeo and in the Western way of life,
we would all make
they would
so
string
much
me
fun
up
of you.
and like, what'd you say?
We would talk so much shit.
You can't sing that way.
We would just destroy you.
And you know, the cowboy thing's kind of coming back in country music with Cody Johnson doing well and all that stuff, so everybody in town is now thinking they can write cowboy songs, but you've had to live the life a little bit to know the lingo to be able to write those. So, but once in a while, you'll get one that fits, but it's pretty rare.
And what's awesome is one day, you know, you'll be on Grand Ole Opry, you know, coming up, and then probably like 2 days later, I'll see Snapchats of you know, herding out on the ranch by yourself,
Putting out hay in your
8,000
Snapchat.
sheep, you know.
Just out there sheeping.
Just out there sheeping, you know. And that's what makes you awesome.
Well, that's all I know. And I was talking to Trent, my producer, last night. You know, I mean, when I started music, the pendulum was the other way. It was like Florida Georgia Line stuff, and those guys did really good at that type of music. But we weren't like that at all. But I didn't know what else to be, so I've always just kind of stuck with doing what we do is cowboy stuff and ranching songs. And so it's led us to where we are today, and the pendulum's going back the other way, it feels like a little bit. So we just stuck to our guns, and it took a while before cowboys were cool again, but I think we're finally getting there.
And what I appreciate, because now, you know, at San Angelo, we book bands and different things and stuff, and which we've talked and tried, you know, we'll get it worked out some of these days, but bands, a lot of them, man alive, it's like my 3-year-old son Gus is more responsible than these guys. Like, they're pathetic. Like, you send them to the hotel and they're like, well, where's it at?
Let me Google that for you.
For God's sake, yes. It's like, there's not that many hotels. There's only one Best Western.
Yeah.
Super 8.
Well, they get taken care of a lot, so they never have to make anything happen on their own. But like, we've always done everything on our own way, you know, earn things the hard way. So, and growing up ranching, you just do it yourself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we get hired for a lot of dates, and it seems like everywhere we play, everybody's like, you guys are the easiest band in the world. I'm like, it's not that hard to be easy. You know what I mean?
What's the show you guys play? I think is it in Deadwood where y'all dress up in your 80s gear?
White Trash Bash.
White Trash Bash. I saw the picture on Instagram and it was the coolest. Like, that was awesome.
My band, we love dressing up. So like, it's really fun to dress up and wear wigs and shit. We have wigs on the bus. But we always loved Halloween because we always take Halloween to the next level, and then we wanted something else in the year that you could dress up for. So we're like, what if we have a half a wing 6 months away from Halloween? Like, all right. So let's try a White Trash Bash. And the thing took off, and it's like a big event now. We have it in Laramie, and it got big enough where we have it in Deadwood now. But it's the easiest thing to dress up for because everybody's got a little white trash in them. Like, finally I can dress how I really want to dress. I'll cut my sleeves off and wear a mullet.
Yeah, like look at Ray Tower. He celebrates White Trash Bash every day of the month.
Yeah, he's kind of the poster child for White Trash Bash.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Well, we thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure, man. You guys are the best. And thanks for supporting our music on RümpChät all the time. We listen on the bus a lot.
Well, we love you guys, and you're good friends, and you're awesome at what you do. So, 10 o'clock tonight at the South Point. You go on at 10, right?
11, right after the buckle ceremony.
11, okay, I'm sorry.
So it's a late show, so people go watch other shows. They can still make ours because it's a late one.
And if I've told everybody that after last year, after going to that, if you get a chance to go to the South Point to see him, it is worth it because the show is absolutely electric. And like you said earlier, he incorporates a lot of people from the rodeo and it makes it cool. So be sure to check it out. I wish I could go and I can't tonight, but
call in sick there and come down and be with us.
I've been sick on your bus before.
But congratulations again, Grand Ole Opry and Billy Bob. So check it out, Chancey Williams and the Younger Brothers Band. We love you guys. Thank you. Big round of applause. Chancey Williams. Thank you. Beer because I totally ripped this off YouTube. I did not pay for it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Hey, Chancey,
I'm so ashamed of myself.
For the record, I have done some crummy things. However,
I bought other songs, just not that one.
I have bought every Chancey Williams song there is on iTunes. So I would like if I could get a refund.
There's one album.
There's 5.
He's lying. All right. We gotta get our next guy.
Oh, suck it, Tambo.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Country Music Day.
The Country Music Day is going to continue on. This guy is a storyteller. Great guy. Also cowboy, rancher from the Northland. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring him out. Mr. Corb Lund.
Here it goes.
We got to move that banner.
Yeah. Oh, here he is. There he is, everybody. Get lost around there, back there, Corb. Man, it's always good to have Corb back on. We try to do this once a year at least. Last year when we did RümpChät with Corb, he knows me well enough to know that I like rock and rolling. Last year he had on an Iron Maiden t-shirt at RümpChät, and I thought, couldn't get any better. This year he shows up, he's got on a Joe Jett and the Blackhearts t-shirt, even better than last year. A cowboy, a storyteller. And you know, after last year, Corb, I got so many people on our Instagram at RümpChät. If you guys don't know Corb or haven't listened to any of the older podcast, I had so many people that never knew that Corb was in a rock band. I'll bet I had 45 people send me a message that said that they got onto the YouTube channel and saw your old your hard rock band where you were rocking out in 13 MWs.
What?
When you were wearing regular jeans and rocking back in the day.
I was trying to.
Well, we don't wear those, of course, on the side there, but you know. But
I was trying to bridge the cultural gap.
So it's been 1 year since we've seen you. You said, and I quote, I said, Corby, what have you been doing? I've been touring my ass off.
That's right. Yeah.
So you're back in action after the shutdown up north, and tell us about your year when you see you last.
Yeah, when the smoke cleared in March, we started touring, and we've pretty much been on the road the whole time, mostly in the States. So I think we've been 38 states since March. So
38 states since March.
Are we even going out east and trying to convert them to?
Where do you go back east?
We did all the big cities, Philly and Boston, New York, DC.
How? Okay, so I've never really been back there. Me and Hamba, we went back east one time. We went to Glens Falls, New York, for the rodeo, and it was awesome. It was a good turnout.
We drank an 18-pack of beer during intermission.
Yeah.
That is a true story.
We had plenty of time.
20 minutes.
So is our kind of music when you go back east, do you feel like that it's kind of taken off, or like what's the feel for that?
Yeah, it's interesting. I have a mixed audience, and depending on where I'm playing, it's skewed one way or the other. Obviously, if I'm playing in Montana, it's more ranchy people and western people. But the people out east, I mean, there's a certain contingent of them that are probably Americana, Steve Earle fans, you know? And they also, whether they admit it or not, they're kind of fascinated by cowboy stuff, right? So they like the stories, I think. But yeah, it's interesting because even when we play a city like Boston, there'll be a couple guys in Wranglers or Carhartts or Cinch's or whatever, and they show up and you can tell they're not from the city. They drove 4 hours from the country to come see us. So.
That's awesome. Which is cool though, because all it's doing is spreading the brand, you know, spreading the cowboy life, and that's awesome. I used to give people a hard time, you know, they show up in Brooks and Dunn, you know, flame shirt, and like, oh, look at this guy, but You know, who cares? He's buying a ticket to your show.
They're trying.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, it's interesting. My grandpa used to go. He used to rodeo in those deals they'd have out east of Boston Gardens and New York at Madison Square Gardens in the 40s. So the East has always had a taste for that kind of thing. He even went to England and rodeoed there. So it's. I think there's always been a fascination with you know, the frontier lifestyle out east.
So speaking of your grandpa, I want maybe we can do this first song about him running whiskey.
Okay.
Over the line.
That's my other grandpa.
Oh, it's yeah, no, I feel it's still a good one.
Yeah, they were both ranchers. Do you want the backstory?
Yeah, heck yeah.
So there was a brief period in the 20s after you guys in the States made booze illegal, where Canada still allowed it, and then we followed suit a few years later, but there was a brief window and it was legal up there still. And our family ranch is about 6 miles north of the Montana border as the crow flies. So I always tell people Grandpa had a great idea to do a public service for the American people.
I love it. Let's do it.
My mom denies this ever happened, but I know it happened. I wrote my new song on a $5 bill, but I won't be able to sing it until I get hot on the trail for to pick up the track of the doodle little thief and get my $5 back. I first got the $5 on my Montana man when he come across the line with a pistol in his hand. He said, "Give me all your money," but I got to his first. I took his Colts too and the whole first verse. You see, you couldn't buy liquor in the States back then, so we saddled up the ponies and we loaded up the gin. Rode in the shadow of the Grand Old Chief to get some Northern Rocky Mountain kind of tax relief. You couldn't count on the cattle when the market got down, and the veterinary bills to the doctor in town. The kids needed shoes and I had to get fed, and a big old bank lien was over my head. I wrote my new song on a $5 bill, but I won't be able to sing it until I get hot on the trail for to pick up the track up the doodle little thief and get my $5 back. Well, they wouldn't stop talking about Canadian rye bouquet, and the palate is crisp and it's dry. And the Seagram's bottle tasted mighty top shelf. I said, "Well, thank you very much, sir," kicked to myself. Of course, that didn't keep the boys down south, judging by the stream of color coming out of their mouth. I can't figure why, cause somewhere I stood, I got just as damn drunk as any store-bought wood. I wrote my new song on a $5 bill, but I won't be able to sing it until I get hot on the trail for to pick up the track of the doodle little thief and get my $5 back. It's much better with guitar.
It's RümpChät.
He comes storming across the border with 6 or 8 guys. Some damn fool saw I paid the deputized. There weren't no sheriff nor marshal inside. I guess the lawman was up and drinking whiskey all night. He said, "Give me all your money," but I got to his first. I took his Colts too and the whole third verse. He picked my back pocket, worked the $5 loose. I had tucked in behind a can of Copenhagen sweets. I wrote my new song on a $5 bill, but I won't be able to sing it until I get hot on the trail for to pick up the track up the doodle little thief and get my $5 back. The doodle little double deal, son of a gun of a song, steal a chickadee thief and get my $5 back. Thank you.
See,
I love that song.
I love the storytelling songs, okay? You might make fun of me for this, but my all-time favorite, well, you probably wouldn't know this, we haven't talked about it enough, but my all-time favorite story song in the history of songs, you know what it is?
Gambler?
No. The best
Battle in New Orleans?
Better than that, it does deal with a boat. The best storytelling song ever. The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
7 p.m. the man hatchway kicked and
That's what I'm
said,
saying.
"Boys, it's been good to know y'all."
Yeah. That is like, I love the old school, like, especially traveling, as much as we do. And like 3 o'clock in the morning and you're driving and you're tired and you get kicked on the old outlaw country. And you've been on outlaw country quite a bit lately, man.
Yeah. That's Edmund Fitzgerald, so that's some good Canadian content.
Yeah.
That's it's like 8 minutes long too, right?
No, I think it's 12 minutes long.
It's got the synthy string part of it.
What kind of instrument is that?
I think it's strings, like a string section.
A harpsichord?
Maybe. Hey, I want to say I'm really happy to be on the same show as Chancey. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. It's Country Music Day.
It's awesome.
Western music day.
Western music. Yeah. I should know
Western
that.
country. Western music. Not again, not sitting in the middle of a pickup truck. Got mustard on my t-shirt.
I got my girlfriend in the Chevy and we're driving down the dirt road. When Ronnie pulls out and we drank a beer. I don't like that. I would take Wreck of the Evan Fitzgerald over that any day.
Feels like they're trying too hard.
No, that's the song I wrote. I actually did write a song. Chancey, I wrote a song for Chancey and he just denies it. It's the Bobby Marriott song. But there's a guy that rodeo, it's Bobby Marriott.
Bobby Marriott.
A friend of you, a friend of me. He only stands about 5'3". It's Bobby Marriott.
Bobby Marriott.
Bobby Marriott. But anyhow, still
Keep going.
He's a man who never quits. All the hot chicks show them. Anyhow.
Bobby Marriott's an NFR pickup man, so sorry if you guys don't know, but anyway, back to the show.
Sorry, I got sidetracked with my songwriting ability.
Corb, what do you got going on out here this week? I know you got a big show, a couple big shows. Doing a solo show, I think on the 6th.
Yeah. I'm doing a solo show on the 6th in a little theater called The Space. It's nothing but cowboy songs, from Strawberry Roan to the present. And
Wow.
kind of bullshitting in between the songs.
That's awesome.
And then tomorrow night I'm at the Virgin with Ryan Bingham. So
With Ryan Bingham.
Yeah.
Nice.
see if I can worm my way onto the show.
Attaboy.
Oh, Ryan Bingham's the skinny dude on Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. I think I'm the only one of all my buddies that write songs that hasn't had music on that show, so I'm going to have to lean on somebody.
Do you watch Yellowstone?
Yeah, I'm behind a couple seasons, but yeah. A lot of killing.
That I don't know. There's some parts. I like Yellowstone. Do you watch Yellowstone?
Yeah.
I like a lot of it, but there is some in one of the seasons where the bull rider, the two bull riders beat up some barrel racers and they put them in the trailer and just drive around. Like there's some weird.
Or it's the simple stuff, like you're talking about the spurs in the barnyard, but then talking about Ryan Bingham, and he was staying outside in the barrel racer's trailer, but it was a Capri camper. Like, come on, people. It's the small things that matter to me.
But honestly, I will say this though. I think a lot of people in shows like Yellowstone, I think that the Western heritage is kind of trying to make a comeback because I think a lot of people are just fed up with all the bullshit in the city and the crime, and I think there's a big wanting to get more back to the cowboy way of life. Ever since those shows started playing, we had a deal in Ponca City. I call it adult prom, but it's like a ball for adults. And all these bankers that I know, and all these city guys that have never rode a horse, they all showed up with like nice cowboy hats and like suit, like dressed up nice. So I think in a way, when we talk about the Western industry, I think in a way it's kind of making a comeback. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it feels to me like it goes in waves. About every 15 years it gets popular. Like we still all live that way, but every 15 years or so it kind of pokes up into popular culture. Like 15, 20 years ago, Car did it, and then before that in the 70s with Urban Cowboy.
Yeah.
But I think there's an ongoing sort of fascination with the lifestyle.
Yeah.
I think you're right too. As the world continues to degenerate, I think people link to earlier values too.
And my dad said that too when this all started. He's like, this happened back in the Urban Cowboy days. When that came out, everybody, cowboy hats and boots.
Urban Cowboy as we sit by bucking machines. We should have at the bucking machine over there, we should have the Bud and Sissy Award. If anybody shows up and
I think you and I should challenge you.
Horse shit, I ain't doing it.
There's 2 machines, 2 dudes,
I'm not doing it.
1 championship.
Anyhow, moving right along.
Let's go to Chancey's.
Play us another song, Corb. Get me out of this deal. I ain't getting on a bull.
What mood do you want? Menacing or sad or happy?
I want happy.
Well, we have our good friend Will over here, who is a great music director in the business and a friend, and he's also a veterinarian, Texas A&M grad. No, Auburn.
I went to undergrad in Auburn, Mississippi State Vet School.
Okay, what'd you go to there?
Visiting?
All right, my bad. They're both maroon. Play the vet song.
Well, I'm one of the few artists. When you ask him to play a vet song, you have to specify which one. It's like,
What about the
Talking veterinarian blues.
vet rock is a very small niche, but I'm in there. This is called the Talking Veterinarian Quick Test Cesarean Section Vaccination Bubbles. It's mostly true. Well, my dad is a vet, and if I was one too, the one thing he always taught me to do was get paid. Cash money. You see, jamming the eggs is a mighty kind thank you, but not for the bookkeeper, not for the banker. The margin's thin on treating large animals unless it's a purebred or more understandable, a racehorse of some kind. You see, son, city folks pay a high dollar to make sure Fido ain't hot under the collar. That's where the money is. Boutique animal hospitals, shopping malls, cocker spaniels, Pomeranians. Hang your shingles. Okay, the second verse is for sure true because it happened to my dad at his practice in the early 70s. An intern pulled this terrible behavior. Well, a blind old woman brings in a bird with a busted wing, and somewhere she heard we was good doctors. Well, that night it died in the cage under our care of unknown cause, but we'll make it square. These things happen. Only one cure, though. Quick trip to the pet store. Well, morning come, I didn't want to upset her. For her own good, didn't see a need to tell her. But not only you boys have fixed his wing, it appears as though you've taught him to sing. You are good doctors. He's never sung before. I've had him for years. Well, if you've been in the business as long as I have, you begin to consider the plight of the calves. Fun-loving, carefree, frolicking little critters. Well, the first few months ain't all that bad. They never forget the good times they had, but then comes spring and branding time. Stuck in the ribs with the red-hot iron, tag in the ear, shots in the hip, the dehorn paste, and snip, snip, snip. Welcome to the world, little buddy. It's no picnic. I'm not sure if I've given you guys the background on the last verse. The last verse is a true story. And in southern Alberta, where I grew up, they grow a lot of sugar beets. And when sugar beets are mature, they're about this big. And they go in the fall, they dig them up, they cut the tops off them, take them to the plant in town and make them into sugar. And then they turn the cattle into the pasture because the tops are good winter feed. But mixed in with the tops are fist-sized immature sugar beets that the cattle choke on. So if you're a vet in that area, you get called at 3 in the morning. You got to go out there and either push the beet down the esophagus or get it out of the animal's mouth or they'll choke to death on the spot. So having said that bit of information. Well, I've treated my share of sugar beet chokes. If it gets too bad, you got to cut the throat and salvage the carcass. Dress them out on the spot. This one old steer, he choked real bad in the corner of the pen. He's mighty mad. I poked at the beet. It wouldn't dislodge. The farmer says, I got a dull enough to get a garage. I just got to go get it. We got to save the meat. So I made the jugular cut. Steer jumped to his feet, give his head a shake, and coughed up the beet. Stood there and bled to death in front of his own. Thank you, Doc. What do I owe you? Well, that's how it goes with the sugar beet chokes. Just don't get me started on. Just don't get me started on alfalfa bloats.
That's probably not one you can play on the East Coast.
They don't laugh as much as wrong. They look at me and
thanks a lot, Doc. What do I owe you?
Yeah, Will.
Anyway, yeah.
What are you listening to these days?
Christmas music.
Yeah.
a lot of Bing Crosby in my house. That's my wife. But
I've been jamming out a lot to a band that I've always been pretty close to. But you know how like sometimes in your like music on your phone or whatever, you have something you listen to for quite a while, then it kind of goes away. I've kind of got away from it, but I've been back to it. I've been listening to a lot of Guns N' Roses lately.
That first record is killing.
And I got Use Your Illusion, all that. I actually got a Guns N' Roses poster for the RümpChät giveaway. But you know what? You know one of my favorite Guns N' Roses songs ever that I think gets ignored too often is Patience. Is that not one of the best songs ever? And you know what else I like about Guns N' Roses? I went to other concerts and Axl Rose is just as fat as I am. And that's badass. Because you could be a fat guy and still rock.
So,
Speaking of which, welcome Garrett Yergin, announcer of the year in the KRCA. Got a
carrying pizza.
carrying a pizza.
So I told this before the other part of the show, but no, I didn't even tell you yet. Have I? What Whitney did? So, time I want to listen to a lot the last week or so. So, the day before we flew out here, my beloved football team, my Iowa Hawkeyes, sucked this year, and they lose to my hated rivals, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So, which they suck worse than Iowa. So, I'm down in the dumps, and my wife, we're going to dinner with friends. She hands me her phone and says, "Can you order the Uber?" And I'm pissed off, and I'm like, "Really? Okay, I guess your fingers are broke." Well, on her phone, I see it's Ticketmaster, section 120, whatever row, and I'm looking. She had surprised me with tickets to the Eagles in Fort Worth. Oh my God, I will never be that good of a husband.
And you said that they were really good.
It was unbelievable. No smoke, no pyro, just an amazing show. And Joe Walsh at 75 can wail. It was unbelievable. He played every note like he did, and Don Henley still has the golden voice. They had an orchestra, a choir. It was 3 hours.
Vince Gill with him?
Vince Gill. My God, Vince Gill was with him.
Who do you listen to? Do you listen to the Eagles?
I'm not done with my story.
Yeah.
God. So anyway, they played every song from the Hotel California album, and then he said, "We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to play everything we know." And the place went nuts. But it was a 3-hour experience that, it was unbelievable. And on the way in, what do you call those guys that put on the bike and they got the little tent you ride in the back? Rickshaw. Yeah, so we get in with these people, and they're just blazing up. So I go in already in a good mood, a little secondhand high, a little hungry, $17 beers. But God, what a great show.
Smoking, drinking, loving.
And Joe Walsh came into my wife's store, the Maverick, in Fort Worth, wanting really expensive rodeo shirts. That's what he said. That's what he told him. I want really expensive rodeo. Here, Joe Walsh, I want really expensive. You got to know Joe Walsh.
What does that mean exactly?
I don't know a really expensive rodeo shirt, but I know that one thing. The Maverick's the place to get a really expensive one.
I would have sold him something.
Yeah, I'm a big Eagles fan too. They're a major influence in my early teen years.
Do you know the Eagles?
I know chunks. I got one I want to play for you. Is that
Yep, let's do it. Yeah, absolutely.
You know Don Edwards passed away?
Yep.
Yeah. This is my favorite dog ever.
Oh, perfect.
It's called Coyotes. There's a cowboy I knew inside Texas. His face was burned deep by the sun. Part history, part sage, part Mexican. He was there when Pancho Villa was young. He'd tell you a tale of the old days. And the country was wild all around. Set out under the stars of the Milky Way and listen to the coyotes howl. And they'd say, "Ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah, ooh. Ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah, ooh. Ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah, ooh. Ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah, ooh." Now the longhorns are gone, and the drovers are gone, the Comanche are gone, and the outlaws are gone. Geronimo's gone, and Sam Bass is gone. The lion is gone, and the red wolf is gone. When he cursed all the roads and the oil, and he cursed the automobile. So the only thing left from the old days is them damned old coyotes and me. And they'd sing, "Ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah, ooh."
a storyteller himself.
Yeah. He used to play, I'm playing the Elko Cowboy Poetry Gathering next February. He used to play that every time. He's one of my favorite performers. He's a big loss.
Well, it's
Sort of bum me out.
no, it's all good. It's all good. Well, what other direction we want to go? It's RümpChät. We do whatever we want.
Well, I know that I do this every time the Corb's on, but it truly is one of my favorite songs ever. He already probably knows what it's going to be. But one of my favorite songs that I love to listen to Corb, like anytime that we're feeding, or when I go ranch in the Osage in Pawhuska, Oklahoma, not like Yellowstone. There's no trees, and you just drink Gold Buckle seltzers and drive around. You're not on road, so you can do that there.
Cattle down there, you always have cows around. What else you gonna spend that extra money on? What else is gonna get you up hours before dawn? What else is gonna keep you toiling on and on and on? May you always have cows around. But come on, you know that you got too much time on your hands and not nearly enough complication in your plans. But you need to embrace all of the frustration.